Imagine waking up, stretching, looking around your room, and realizing nobody is there. Not your family, not your neighbors, not the guy jogging down the street. But wait, they are there. You just can't see them. Because today, everyone on Earth is invisible. Weird? Yes. Terrifying? Absolutely. Let's find out what would really happen if the entire human race suddenly disappeared from sight. First, let's get one thing clear. When I say invisible, I don't mean people vanished into thin air. They're still walking, breathing, eating, and texting, just without any visible body. Think of it like living in a world where everyone is a walking ghost with no outline. You'd still bump into them, hear their voice, and maybe even smell their perfume, but your eyes wouldn't register anything. Sounds like the worst group Halloween prank ever, but let's explore step by step. Your morning would instantly turn into slapstick comedy. You stumble into the kitchen to grab coffee and nearly spill it all over your invisible roommate. You can hear them, maybe even feel the heat from their skin, but there's no way to tell where they're standing. Now scale that up to a city. Cars driving down the highway, the drivers are invisible. The bus you take to work, full of floating backpacks and coffee cups with no one holding them. Super creepy. Accidents would skyrocket. Imagine crossing the street. You look both ways, see nothing, and step out. Boom. You just collided with an invisible cyclist. Very quickly, society would grind to a halt. Humans rely on seeing each other more than we realize. Without eye contact, facial expressions, or body language, communication becomes awkward. Is someone joking or being serious? Are they waving at you or just scratching their head? You'd never know. Meetings at work? Forget it. Schools? Absolute chaos. Dating? Yikes. Swipe right, show up, and then silence. Just two invisible people awkwardly sipping drinks. Not exactly romantic. And let's be honest, trust would vanish. How do you know if someone's behind you or sneaking into your house? Locks and cameras don't help much when people can't be seen. Okay, let's talk science for a second. For humans to be truly invisible, our skin, tissues, even our blood would need to bend light perfectly around our bodies. This is called optical cloaking, and researchers have actually experimented with it using special materials. But making an entire human invisible? That's way beyond what science can do. If it somehow happened, though, we'd run into another problem: eyes. Our eyes work by catching light bouncing off objects. If your eyes themselves were invisible, no light would actually stop inside your eyeballs, which means, sorry, you'd be completely blind. So for this scenario to even function, we'll imagine a loophole. People are invisible to others, but can still see normally. Assuming people could see, but not be seen, humanity would adapt. Badly at first. Air traffic control would be a nightmare. Pilots invisible in cockpits, ground crews invisible on the tarmac. Airports would shut down in hours. Sports? Done. No one wants to watch two invisible football teams collide while the ball mysteriously floats around the field. Entertainment would collapse. No movies, no concerts, no TikToks with funny dance routines. Just a whole lot of floating microphones. Eventually, though, we'd invent tools to cope. Heat cameras, motion sensors, maybe even spray paint that reveals outlines of invisible people. You'd walk through public spaces looking like a glowing thermal figure or covered in colorful dust. Fashion would become weird, but at least visible. But here's the real kicker. If nobody could see anyone else, we might slowly stop caring about appearances. No makeup, no haircuts, no designer clothes. Social status based on looks would vanish overnight. Imagine a world where nobody knows if you're tall, short, young, old, beautiful, or plain. That could be liberating or horrifying, because instead of judging by appearances, people might start judging only by voice, money, or power. And without that simple act of recognizing each other by face, society as we know it might fall apart. So, what if everyone became invisible? At first, chaos. Car crashes, awkward dates, and floating lattes everywhere. Then confusion, mistrust, and maybe even collapse of civilization. But if humanity survived long enough, we might build a new world. One where appearances don't matter, but technology defines how we see each other again. So, would invisibility make the world fairer or just scarier? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this little dive into invisible chaos, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy science what ifs, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one. Because next time, we're asking, what if the sun just disappeared?